storm has left 2 people dead over the weekend. Authorities have arrested 25-year-old Nicholas Jordan in connection with the murders. He has a first court appearance on Tuesday, and university officials say that Jordan is a student at the school. Classes and all regular activities on campus were canceled on Monday, and there was a solidarity walk to honor the victims, Samuel Knopp and Celie Rain Montgomery. Students, faculty, and loved ones wore the school colors of black and gold and carried roses and signs encouraging everyone to be Mountain Lion strong. Knopp was studying in the Visual and Performing Arts Department, and Montgomery was only visiting the school, according to university officials. But the students still wanted to honor her as if she were one of their own.
I was genuinely shocked that happened. It's such a tragic event and just always shocking. You know, you go, like, life is an incredible thing. You go about one day, you're excited for something, and then the next just tragedy strikes, you know.
Officials say they will continue to work with Colorado Springs police amid the ongoing investigation.
A group of neo-Nazis marched the streets in Nashville on Saturday afternoon, leaving cause for concern among Tennessee lawmakers. The group in the Capitol and parts of downtown Nashville before ultimately leaving in a U-Haul truck. No arrests were reported, and Tennessee officials say that this group is not in any way tied to the city of Nashville, but others do not agree.
When they passed laws making it so that Jewish couples could not adopt children and justifying that, you welcome Nazis here.
This march comes as a rise in anti-Semitism has been seen across the nation.
Earlier today, the United States vetoed a widely supported UN resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire in the Gaza Strip amidst the Israel-Hamas war. The U.S. blocked the Arab-backed resolution, saying it would interfere with Israel's negotiations with Hamas to release the remaining hostages. Tuesday's vote was the third U.S. veto of a resolution demanding an immediate ceasefire. Tuesday's veto comes just a day after the U.S. proposed a resolution that would support a temporary ceasefire based on the condition that all hostages are released.
Capital One has announced that it is buying Discover Financial Services. The all-stock deal is worth $35.3 billion. The deal would combine 2 of the largest credit card companies in the United States. Capital One has a market value of more than $52 billion. Discover's market value is $28 billion. The merger would be one of the biggest mergers this year. Capital One uses MasterCard and Visa for most of its cards. The Wall Street Journal earlier reported Capital One plans to switch more of its cards to Discover's network.
The University of Miami hosts events for students all the time, from patio jams to the Wednesday market and sometimes even a carnival. But few times a year, students can attend a Narcan training event. Our reporter Harvey Duplock is live in studio with more. Harvey?
Thanks, Mike. And yes, for the last few years, the University of Miami has teamed up with outside organizations to host Narcan training events to help educate students. The first event of the year took place last week, so I went and checked it out.
People that use drugs, guess what? That's mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters.
Tommy Guerra is a recovering addict and the founder and CEO of F-Fentanyl, a non-profit harm reduction organization.
I have a number of people that have passed away in my life and from overdose. I found purpose in doing this work, in helping other people and educating and just hoping that we can save some lives.
On Valentine's Day, he teamed up with the University of Miami Sandler Center and U Recovery Club to host a Narcan training event in the Shalala Center.
So we host events like Narcan trainings, really just to ensure that students have the tools and information that they need to make safer choices.
Narcan is a medication that can reverse the effects of a drug overdose if used fast enough. And according to the CDC, in 2023, some 112,000 Americans died from drug overdoses, making events like these a necessity.
There's still a huge stigma when it comes to, Narcan and substances and just being safe.
Nearly 40 students attended the 1-hour training where they learned about drug safety and prevention, as well as how and when to use Narcan.
This is what happens, right?
We've heard stories of students who have attended a Narcan training and have then used that Narcan to save someone's life. So we know that these programs are having a positive impact on campus.
Even though many people believe that only drug users need to think about Narcan, that is simply not the case.
Would you use an EpiPen on somebody? It wouldn't be for yourself, but would you save somebody else? And that's really what it's about, is getting people to understand that it's not just about, hey, just saving yourself if you don't have a problem. It's about helping other people as well.
At the end of the event, students were able to take some Narcan home for free, an added bonus because the medication has only been available over the counter since last March and cost around $45. There are 2 more training sessions this semester, one on March 4th and the other on April 16th. And Tommy says he hopes to be back next year as well. For UMTV, I'm Harvey Duplock.
Thank you, Harvey. And when we come back, we'll talk about a showdown between 2 basketball stars and after how one reptile species is overstaying its welcome in South Florida.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart, and so they need you to stand with them.
One person was killed and 20 people were injured, including children, in a shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade last Wednesday, and 4 people have been arrested and charged in connection to this shooting. According to authorities, 2 adults have been charged today with second-degree murder and 2 counts of armed criminal action and unlawful use of a weapon. These charges come a few days after 2 teens are charged with both gun-related crimes and resisting arrest. $200,000 to the victims and their families.
The annual NBA All-Star Weekend just took place in Indianapolis, and this year it featured one competition the league has never seen before. Sabrina Ionescu is the 3-point shootout record holder with her 37-point performance at the WNBA's All-Star Weekend, and she showed out in Indy. After hitting each ball in her first rack, Ionescu shot her way to 26 points. Her score was the same as Damian Lillard, who won the NBA's competition, and she did it from behind the NBA's 3-point line. However, her strong round would go undermined when Steph Curry was allowed his turn. Curry poured in 29 points, hitting 9 of his last 10 shots to take home the win. We'll see if these two run it back next year with the NBA All-Star festivities taking place in the Chase Center in San Francisco.
William Byron is the latest winner of the Daytona 500, and he picked the victory in some dangerous conditions. The race was originally scheduled for Sunday, but after rainy conditions, the event was postponed to Monday afternoon. Byron's win was the 6th for Hendrick Motorsports, but it did not come easily. Just before the final lap, there was a 22-car crash that took out 6 former NASCAR champions. Byron's car emerged with little damage, and he was able to pick up his first career outright win in the Great American Race.
Nearly 300,000 vehicles have been recalled today by both Jeep and Hyundai over safety risks that include electrical malfunctions, and the threat of fires. 200,000 Jeeps are part of this recall because of issues with their defrosting systems that are a crucial safety feature for drivers in colder states. Hyundai has recalled almost 100,000 vehicles, all of which are Hyundai Genesee. The company reports that there is a risk of water entering an electrical compartment in the engine that may cause fires.
Invasive species are taking over South Florida and impacting the environment. That's because of one major reason that might surprise you. Charlotte Snoonian learned what is bringing so many invasive species here, and joining us now live to tell us more. Charlotte, what did you learn?
After talking with biologists, I learned that you might want to think twice before bringing home a cute reptile as your new pet, because it could soon become 6 feet long and be something you have to take care of for the next 20 years. South Florida is home to a wide variety of wildlife, but not all of them belong. In fact, there are over 500 invasive species here, which are plants or animals that are not native to the region they are occupying.
If a species is able to get somewhere of its own accord, then it is considered native. But if it only gets there through the aid of humans, then we count it as being non-native.
Most invasive animals get here through the pet trade, and Miami is the import hub for non-native animals.
So while they're here waiting to be shipped, they escape. And then given that we have a very tropical climate, and most of these species are coming from tropical areas, if they do escape, they can then be successful.
And these facilities are not the only problem. Owners of reptiles and amphibians often don't do their research before getting their pet, and they become unable to care for it when it grows too big or lives longer than owners expected. So some people release their non-native pets into the wild.
It's not good for the environment because these are non-native species that shouldn't be here, and usually it's not good for the animal either because it's not going to receive proper care.
Green iguanas and spiny-tailed iguanas are some of the most common invasive species in South Florida, and both were imported from Central America and South America. I took a walk through the trails at Billback State Park on the very end of Key Biscayne, and I was shocked by how many iguanas there actually are. They were laying in the sun, running across the paths, and climbing up the trees, and they were definitely the most common animal I saw on my walk. Iguanas burrow underground, which can be dangerous to the structure of buildings, homes, and other infrastructure. The South Florida Water Management District has tried to remove the iguanas from certain areas, but had no luck.
If you're only removing them from a very specific area, then you're going to have the problem that other ones will just come in to immediately replace the ones you removed.
Miami-Dade County hopes to set up traps in certain areas to remove iguanas in a humane way. If you are thinking about getting a non-native animal as a pet, be sure you do your research beforehand. And if you have a pet you can no longer take care of, you are advised to find it a new home for the safety of the environment and the animal. For UMTV, I'm Charlotte Snoonian.
Thank you, Charlotte. When we return, we'll take a look at the Coral Gables Art Festival and how the mayor of Miami-Dade used it as an opportunity to continue her impact.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong with me?
Donating to a pet's medical care can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
This past weekend in Miami, the Coconut Groves Art Festival celebrated its 60th anniversary. The event began on McFarland Road and stretched to Pan American Drive. Artists from across the nation gathered to showcase their artwork to thousands of curious attendees. As one of the largest outdoor events in the country, the event takes an entire year to plan, but organizers say it is worth it. Every year, one artist is chosen to create a poster for the festival, and this year's winners were Signy and Gena Grushevenko. The couple collaborates to create oil paintings based on vintage photos from the 60s and 70s that display carefree moments. Their retro theme captured the heart of Monty Traynor, who arrived in Coconut Grove in the 60s to build a coastal-themed restaurant, and soon began supporting the art community. Traynor will be retiring as the festival's president after serving for 15 years.
And it was during the Coconut Grove Arts Festival that the Miami-Dade County Mayor made an appearance. Maria Regina Mendoza joins us now live with more information on what the Miami-Dade County Mayor was doing at the festival. Maria Regina?
Yes, Michael. Mayor Daniela Levine Cava attended the festival as part of her campaign for this year's election.
On Saturday morning, a group of volunteers gathered at Peacock Park with a clear goal in mind. They plan to make their way to the Coconut Grove 60th Art Festival with the purpose of collecting enough petition signatures to ensure that Mayor Daniela Levine Cava's name appears on the 2024 ballot.
I support our mayor because she's a mayor for the people. You know, she is here to help all walks of life, all different classes of people. Like, she doesn't see people as silos or individuals, right? She sees them as individuals, not about who they are, how much money they make, but she's here to make this county a better county for all of us.
Cece is the president of ASME Local 199, an organization dedicated to advocating for fairness in the workplace, excellence in public service, and prosperity and opportunity for all working families.
Mayor Levine Cava is a great supporter of nonprofit organizations. In 2020, she made history for being Miami-Dade County's first woman mayor. With over 40 years of experience, Mayor Levine Cava has been supporting Southwest Florida families as well as public service.
In order to be in the 2024 ballot, she needs to gather 20,000 signatures from Miami-Dade County voters.
We need the public to understand what's at stake. I think that people have grown to see that I am solution focused, that I'm results oriented. I'm going to fight as hard as ever to get things done. So hopefully they will trust that I'm going to continue that way.
I'm supporting Mayor Daniela Levine Cava's campaign because of her commitment to supporting workers. She played a pivotal role in helping our organization, 32BJ, secure a living wage when we were struggling with our salaries. Her efforts were critical as it's nearly impossible to make ends meet in Miami-Dade County on minimum wage. Serving as mayor, she has boosted economic growth, addressed affordable housing, improved public transportation, strengthened public safety, and prioritized climate resilience and sustainability.
For additional information on the mayor's campaign and election, visit www.miamidade.gov. For UMTV, I'm Maria Regina Mendoza.
Thank you, Maria Regina. A professor at Rensselaer Polytech Institute at New York and his lab have found a way to use 3D printing to create hair follicles on humans. Dr. Pakanj Karande is an associate professor of chemical and biological engineering. After working on his craft for the past decade, he is optimistic about the benefits it offers.
But when you employ 3D printing for biological applications, which is what we call 3D bioprinting, we do this to actually build human tissues, human organs.
Playing an important role in skin healing.
Dr. Karande says the 3D printed hair can help those who have lost their hair due to an injury, as well as those who are struggling with hair loss.
Make sure to give your furry, feathery, or scaly friends all the care and attention they deserve, or at least especially today, because it's National Love Your Pet Day. And you can celebrate by playing your pet's favorite game or giving them delicious treats. It's also a good time to examine their health and safety. And if you don't have a pet, animal shelters are open to help you connect with a new friend. So Sabrina, I have to ask, how many pets do you have, if you have any?
I have 4, and I love them all. Yeah.
Well, make sure you give them a lot of love this week, all right?
Okay, all right, I will. Thank you, and that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us on UMTV News.
We will be back here at the same time next week. Have a great night.